Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Found a little spot here that's kind of quiet, and I had a couple requests that I do a drive along or a ride along with this fairly new. I've got probably about 5,000 miles total on this car since I bought it. I bought it at 158 from a one owner. It was pretty dirty and under maintained when I got it, but everything seemed to be original. And the guy who owned it previously was an older guy, and he passed away, and he just babied it. He didn't really drive it hard or anything. It's got the original rotors on there. They say GM on the back side of it. I saw that when I went and did put new axles on this vehicle. I noticed that, but and I've done some things to it. It's still got the original radiator, no problem. I put new hoses, new plugs, new wires, new coils. You know, there was a vacuum leak here, took care of that. Really just minor stuff, you know, new thermostat. Nothing serious. It's not burning oil. I'm currently running the Valvoline Restore and Protect. That is some good oil. Look into that. I put that in all my vehicles, and I've improved gas mileage and cleaned out my engine in the process. You really got to look at their additives that they put in there. They really do a really good job. But yesterday I did a little cleaning under the hood, just wiped down the paint, and I wiped down the plastic here, and then I didn't put any tire shine in there. What I use for plastic, you can use for plastic, and also paint if the paint's really bad, is Zepp's floor polish. Put a little bit on a rag and just wipe it on. It stays on way longer than tire shine, and easy to apply, and it's not like spray paint like you're trying to put clear coat and getting it all over the glass. So also, before I close the hood, transmission cooler, that was a must. Had to put a new starter, new battery. I've got a whole list of things with the vehicle, and every vehicle I ever own, there's a log on all the stuff that I got that I had put on there. So close the hood here. Oh wow, that was loud. Put some new headlights. These have a black inlay, so it gives you a little bit of a sinister look, which I like. Put new fog lights with yellow or amber LED bulbs in there. I got rims off of a 2019 Equinox. They match up perfectly, and the center caps are from a 2013 LaCrosse. They came, I got them off of eBay, and they were a little bit pitted, and I took some chrome spray paint. They came out looking pretty decent, and I got some 6-spline lug nuts. I put some new brake pads. Like I said, the rotors were the original. They're smooth. The guy did not beat on this thing. He was an older gentleman, and I said, well, usually I change those out, but they're smooth and they're not warped or anything. So got some Ventus V2 Concept 2s. Traction on these are AA. Temperature is A. It's hard to spin a tire with this kind of traction with the AA. This can get it though. It'll chirp it a little bit. It did come with some cheap Chinese tires, and those things you can just, you know, like all the way across the intersection. So it made you feel like, oh wow, I got a lot of power. But you get some good tires, and you realize, okay, it was the tires. I took these off of I got one on the other side too, off of LeSabre from the junkyard. I thought that looked cool on the Regal, you know, keeping this classy, not so sporty. It is naturally aspirated. The paint and body is original. Never had tinted windows. Like I said, it was an older gentleman. Again, with the back wheels, these are 18s off of a 2019 Equinox. Rotors are original, and they're smooth. I did change this brake caliper. Got it off of a Impala. It was freezing up on me, Around the back side, he bumped into something. I still have to come through with some Bondo and then do repainting again. It did bow the trunk lid just a little bit. If you notice, there's a little bit of a gap right there. I took the front and rear bumpers off. We'll get around to the front here in a minute, but it's already chipping right there. My issue is, see, I had bought this paint. It's really good paint. It's color match paint. I don't know if you noticed, but wow, it looks OEM, and it is. They take the ingredients that Buick puts in their cans and give you a spray can. It's about 25 bucks for a spray can, and one spray can will do a bumper. I need to come back and do some work on that. Like I said, these are rattle can bumpers, and you probably wouldn't know it unless I told you. I do got to find a thicker clear coat because some of it chips. Not a big deal right now. I'm gonna take care of that later when I got some more time. But going back around to the side here, this backlight was cracked. I had bought a better looking one from a junkyard. Other side looks good. No major dents or dings. Let's pop the trunk. All right, here we are rolling around the back. I do have the keyless entry with the trunk pop on the remote. I had put new struts in the back. You know, there's no frame damage from that little fender bender, but the trunk is pretty normal. Got this net from, I think, like a bin store or something. Just keep some little rinky-dink tools in there. Pretty simple, you know. Let's go onto the back seat. There's your door panels, all leather. Carpet's really nice. Now this had been sitting out in the sun for a number of days and it was cracked up right around here. So I got these square faux leather pads off of Amazon and figure I'll just stick them on there and cover them up. Let me show you what it looks like on the back side. They just wrap over and they're really sticky glue. And it made it really easy. The other side wasn't torn or cracked, but I said, let me match it up. And it kind of looks like it belongs there. You know, I don't know. But it looks nice. It's better looking at cracks. So, it's got a center cup console. Pretty nice. Got matte pockets in the back. Headliner is perfect. Perfect, which is great. Onto the driver door. These doors, I love the way they just close and open with authority. Like this one here really sounds good. Has that quality sound to it. Door panels look great. You know, carpet is a little, I mean, it's not perfect. Other side's a little worse. These say GM. I don't know if they came with the car, but they sure look like something that would come with a car. I don't know. It's on both sides. Driver's seat, good. Headliner, good. Now, the visors were shit when I got them, so I got these out of a junkyard, and they're better, but who knows how long they'll last. Leather wrapped steering wheel. Steering wheel's good. It's just got a little bit of that normal wear on there. Getting inside the vehicle now. There's our master door lock switch console. You got your lights over there. Phone holder, of course. Fog lights. We have a stock stereo with air conditioner and temperature zone, whatever. I don't use it, the dual zone. I think it's silly. This is my first vehicle that I've ever had one with it. I don't like it. Just make the whole car one temperature. If you don't like it, bring a blanket. You know what I mean? Anyways, the AC works great. I mean, this is the coldest AC I've ever owned, and I live in Texas. I literally am a very warm-blooded, sweaty person. So, with that said, once this thing gets blown cold, it goes all the way to 60 degrees. and it's currently 60 outside right now, which that's what it says. Startup is very precise and fast on this vehicle. Like I said, new starter, new ignition coils, wires and plugs, that sort of deal. Looks like we're 73 outside, so we can turn the AC on, and I got it set to 60. When it gets cold enough in here, I mean too cold, I have to like turn the temperature up, because like to like 68, because it just gets too cold, man. It's a freaking freezing air conditioning. You may not have noticed from the outside, but I did put a black visor, tent visor. I've got my camera. I always run a camera in a car, and you know, it's got traction control. And my daughter was like, why is all this space just for the traction control? I'm like, well, this is the base model. The upper trim had seat warmer buttons on each side, so that would be the space for them. Since this doesn't have it, they just put the traction, because the traction control is standard. See, it goes off and on right there, back off. This cup holder broken. They're all broken, so I put a piece of metal in there and RTV this to stay sturdy, doesn't move. At least it looks presentable. Put it in the second gear there. Ashtray, spotless. Dude didn't smoke. Glove box, slow release. Got all your stuff in there. I changed out this button here. I think I got one for like $3 at the junkyard because someone had pulled it too hard. But yeah, the dash isn't cracked. It's very pretty for a 23-year-old vehicle. I mean, it's just beautiful. You know, these sold for $23,500 in 2002, which is equivalent to $40,000 of 2025 money. So yeah, the visors are this one you can probably see a little more. See, it's kind of like it's starting to detach itself, but they work. They got lights. We call them cocaine mirrors. They got the cocaine mirrors. I don't really use them much. I don't really want to use them much. I got the visor up there, but yeah, pretty cool vehicle. You know, it's got the auto button down for just the driver's side, but it does not do auto up. But just a clean, beautiful, now at 162,857 mileage. I see some of these on Car Guru. I saw one, if you look right now, of, you know, May 2025. You can go to Car Guru and look nationwide, and you'll see a black one with 107,000 miles or something, real low, and they want like $5,000. I don't know, you know. I mean, that could be a good vehicle. Now I know mine is exceptionally good, especially since, you know, I've done the work under the hood myself. I did the shakedown when I got the vehicle. I knew, you know, this came from a one owner. It was babied, seriously. You know, what can I say? I even have a list of all the things that I've done with it, and you can see here, you know, I paid $1,000 for it, and all the maintenance as of 158,092. You know, the coolant flush, all the stuff it needs, all new batteries, or all new bulbs, excuse me. Just all bleeding the brakes, all new brake fluid, new tires, the new wheels, you know, different things. Transmission flushes, I've done 2, plus a transmission filter, you know, greasing steering linkages, everything that needs to be done. The maintenance on this vehicle is up, and the vehicle runs good. So when you see a car on Car Guru that's 107,000 miles and $5,000, you know, have they done stuff like this? No, probably not. So You know, and if someone were to ask me, you know, how much would you sell yours for? I gotta tell you, man, driving this car really puts a smile on my face, because people look like, this isn't a show car. This isn't like an old school Camaro, or not even that. It's that category of car. This isn't like a G-body Riviera or a G-body whatever. This is a W-body 23. But people look and they're like, hey, you know, I can tell they're thinking, I remember those cars. I remember those cars. And this is a very good, clean, nice, beautiful example of one. Runs very well, problem free. So I mean, would I sell this for $5? Man, I would never be able to find one again like this for $5. I'd ask $7. I really would. I would ask $7 grand for this car. The way it sits right now, man, this AC is getting cold. Let's take you for a test drive. All right, and as you can see, our temperature gauge reads right at the 4th line. Now it should stay there for this car while you're moving all the time. Sometimes it gets a little past it if you're stopped at lights or slow traffic, and that's a good thing. If yours is reaching right at the middle and going farther, it's getting too hot. I put a 180-degree thermostat in this car, and that's why, and that's what everyone should do. A lot of these came with 192 and 195 thermostats. That's too damn hot, man. That's just, you know, you wonder why these cars have issues with intake manifold gaskets leaking, and it's like, well, it could be because you're overheating your engine. I'm gonna have to turn this AC off. It's 73 outside, y'all, so it's cold enough. I'll just put on vent for a little bit and get some free AC here. Pulling out. New front hubs and new front drive axles, as well as new brakes all the way around from Detroit Axle. I've already got over 1,000 miles on them, and they seem to be running really, really well, just like brand new. No issues. The front right hub was making a humming sound. I went ahead and changed them out, and the axles, when the suspension would flex up and down when you're on the highway going like 60 or faster, it'd make a vibration sound. And it was telling me that the you know, you have splines on your axles. Pretty much any axle, you have splines, and it could have been some slack there, but I think it most likely would have been from the, you know, they call them CV axles, so constant velocity. You know, there's that ball joint, not a ball joint, but like a bearing, whatever, that slides in and out of that metal. You've seen the inside of a CV axle, you know what I'm talking about. There was some play in there, so at high speeds you get a vibration. Now that vibration is gone. Really smooth, no hands, you know. We'll come to a stop with no hands on the steering wheel and show you it straight, no vibrations. Just, man, what a cruiser. We go for a 1-hour trip to the next town over to do some shopping every now and then, and my wife constantly just falls asleep in these big comfortable leather seats, and man, it's just a comfortable ride. 15 minutes into the ride, and if you got kids in the back, they're asleep too. It's just amazing. Everyone just falls asleep. So that's the deal with the seating. Now it does have a set service engine soon light, and I'll give you the details on that. So if any of you know about EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, you can look into it, but basically what it does is from time to time it takes exhaust gas from your exhaust that are hot and sooty and throws them back into your intake. It's kind of like having a tube connected to your backside, and put back into your nostrils or mouth or wherever you want to suck it in from, so you don't like pollute the air. And it's pretty bad for you. You know, you imagine how bad it would be for a car. You know, you get all sooty and hot air, and that's another reason why the intake gaskets, intake manifold gaskets, intake plenum, whatever you want to call it, go bad, leak coolant into the oil, this and that, is because you have a tube that has hot air, really hot exhaust air, the hottest, and it's blowing it back into this plastic intake right around the gasket seal, warping that part of the gasket seal and intake, and eventually allowing coolant to bypass the seal, and yada yada yada, you know the deal. So I'm like, nah. So I get a P0401 code, which one day I'm going to take this to a tuner and just have them delete that code. It's a P0401, which means insufficient, EGR insufficient flow, meaning, hey, we're not cramming exhaust gases back into your intake. There's a check engine light, like, you know. So that's what that code is. I have a code scanner. I check it periodically to make sure that's the only code that ever comes up, and it's because of that. So I gotta delete it, you know. So yeah, little nuisances like that. Yeah, I gotta take it to a tuner shop and see if they can. Well, I know they can. If you got an HP tuner, they can delete that code. They go into the files and just check the box or uncheck the box, whatever, and that code will never come up. And also, these cars have a governor at 110. Man, I know these things can push more. These cars could easily push 130 the way it is right now. So I might have them delete that governor as well. It goes to 110 and then just kicks off power. It's a weird feeling. Once you get to 110, then all of a sudden you lose power. But yeah, that's what it is. So it's a beautiful sunny day here in Texas. We're just cruising down Main Street here in this little hick town. And like I said, temperature outside 77. The sky's partly cloudy or mostly cloudy, however you want to look at it. You know, the car is running great. We'll get past this light up here and we'll be able to do push 70 miles an hour, and I'll show you the tachometer, how that works. We'll pull into a parking lot. We'll do it like this. We'll pull into a parking lot where it already is 70, and we'll just stomp on it and show you, you know, how this vehicle performs. It's not a performance vehicle by any means, but it is a time capsule that can perform. Let's put it that way. That's what I like to call this vehicle. It is a cool time capsule, and you know, for 200 horse, 240 torque, and if you got to move it, you just press into there, it just has that good feeling. You know, it's like, you know, I haven't driven a new car that has 300. You know, they got these Buick SUVs now, 4 bangers and 3 bangers. I think they're going nowhere. They're not gonna last no 20-something years like this. No way. Maybe, I don't know. You know, but I don't, you know, it's hard to imagine. But, you know, some of them have 300 plus horsepower, and I've never been, I think the fastest truck or fastest vehicle I ever driven was my own. It was a 2008 F350. I had a tuner on it, and that sucker would scoot, and it was a dually. It would scoot. I once had one of those V6 Subarus try to pass me, and he couldn't get past me. And those things pump out some power. I know at least 300 horse for its size. So my truck was doing, I don't know, 500 horse, 800 torque, something like that. But I don't know what it feels like to drive a 300 or 400 horsepower engine in a car this size or a little SUV. I don't know how linear is what I'm trying to say. How the feel would be on power delivery. Does it really put you in the back of your seat? Do you really feel it, or is it delivered a different way to where you have it, but it doesn't feel like you have it. I don't know. I'd have to drive this and then immediately get in that car and drive it and see, for myself. These horsepower ratings, they make a lot of claims, these manufacturers. It's all the last 10 years has been nothing but horsepower wars, man. You got the Dodge Demon, oh man, it's just amazing, Gone are the days of, you just need a muscle car with 400 horsepower and good gears. Gone are those days. Now I need 1,000 horsepower and, oh man, it's something else. Let's pull into this lumber company here, which I do some shopping from time to time. There's a guy with a beach bike and he's not at the beach. So we'll pull in here and then we'll pull right out and just stomp on. This guy's got a really cool Cherokee. Check that out. Yeah, I bet you he's got the 360. Absolutely. He better have the 360. Back in my high school days, there was a kid that had one with the 360. And I had an International. That was my first vehicle, a Scout, 78 Scout. And I had the 390. And he couldn't hold a flame to me. Alright, it's clear. Ready for takeoff. Not too bad out first gear. Second gear is kind of sluggish. And there's about 92 mile an hour. That's fast enough. There's people here. I don't want to scare them. But yeah, you get the gist. You get the idea. It's a good feeling of power. I think it's plenty of power. I'm very happy with it. Now, of course, if you had the supercharger and all those other little goodies, yeah, more power, but then where are you gonna get one that's a one owner that's been babied? I don't think there's any more out there. And then if you do get one, is it really that fast now in comparison to other vehicles? I mean, the little 4-banger turbo Buick Encore or whatever it is, it's pushing like 330 horsepower. I mean, if you're on a budget and you're trying to get one of these with the supercharger to push 330, I mean, I think you can get there on a budget. Maybe not, I don't know. But even then, you got all that and it's like you're still not beating the little 4-bangers with the turbo. So it's either go really big or go home. So that's how I look at it. So I'm happy with the naturally aspirated. If I wanted a race car, I would turbo one of these. But then you're looking at, okay, now I'm pushing 450 at the wheel. How's my transmission looking? Not so good now, because GM made weak transmissions. This one, I think I rescued. It still feels brand new. So, can you swap out a 4T65E heavy duty into it? Sure. I mean, how much stronger though is that? Is that going to handle the 450? I don't know. I mean, I would like to see one of these motors or one of these cars. Well, they offer these cars. The 3.8 was offered in the Pontiac, was it Firebird? Maybe not the Camaro. I have to see. I have a list of all the cars that have the 3.8, but those were all rear-wheel drive, and I don't know if any were manual transmission, but if they were, it'd be cool to put a manual from there into here, and then with the 400 horsepower, 500, then be a sleeper. I don't know. It seems like, it just seems like a lot of work, Anyways, I'm rambling on. Like I said, foundationally, it's either go big or go home. And with this one, I'm just going home, back and forth to the grocery store, to the house, to work, you know. Just be happy with what you got. People always want to get so much power, and I got a GS and not a LS, I don't know, you know. There's some guys out there, and there's other guys out there I really appreciate, you know. They just take care of their ride, and they, you know, it is what it is. This is how it was made. So yeah, I'm happy with the 200 horse and the 240 torque. You know, it scoots. It will impress your wife from time to time. You know, she does like it. You step on it a little bit, and she, oh wow, this old man car really gets up and moves when you want it to, and that's kind of fun. And that's about as far as I want to go. Really, you know, I got this car spec'd out to be more on the luxury side, even though they are sporty. That's something I do like about these Regals. They have the sportiness. You know, it doesn't have the fin on the back, but it has, you know, jazzed up wheels. It doesn't have the two-tone paint, but it has the LeSabre badges on the side fenders. You know, it doesn't have the supercharger, but it's got some MSD equipment underneath there that kind of makes it like, hey, this guy cares about his motor. He does some things to it, and that's all right with me, you know. A little bit of respect, a little bit of love there, you know. So I mean, that's what it is. That's what it's all about for me, you know. Plus, I'm in it very little, you know. I've got, let's see, I paid $1,000 for the vehicle. I've got about $1,500 in parts. Then I paid $360 or $380 for the wheels, and then like another $500 and something for the tires. Is that even $4,000? I don't know. You're probably doing the math in your head right now. I don't even think that's $4,000. I mean, I've got a time capsule that's in really good condition for $4,000 or less. And man, that just blows my mind constantly, and I'm just like so happy about it, and that's cool with me, man. I'm lucky, you know. I think, you know, it's a real blessing to find something like that. You know, it was kind of like a barn find. It was in the guy's garage, full of dust and cat paw prints for probably 5 years, and he just gave up on it because he got him a new Nissan Pathfinder with a CVT. So, you know how that's gonna go. Anyways, yeah, I think he should have kept this car. It probably lasts longer than a Pathfinder. But that's it for the video, y'all. Pulling up to the house now, about to park it. Hey, y'all, like and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, holla at me.